Action Research Multimedia Presentation by Rachel Dunn. My problem statement. Statement of research problem. From my previous experience in a grade 4 placement, I noticed that it was increasingly harder to be able to be attentive and helpful to every single student during all the times that they needed assistance from myself as a teacher. After discussion with my associate and some of the grade 3 teachers, it was evident that the grade 4 students were used to being attended to more frequently and for longer one-on-one periods of time. Primary grade teachers stated that this was more doable when the class sizes were under 20 students, but the jump from primary to junior exceeds that classroom number by roughly an additional 10 students. Therefore, how do I, as the teacher, improve students' levels of independence within individual work and problem-solving abilities? The research question. It started off as how do I improve student independence in their individual problem-solving skills and individual work ethic. This problem is important because as students grow, they have to be able to learn skills and strategies in order to work effectively, independently, and to solve their own problems or roadblocks within their work at school. When a classroom goes from 20 to 30 or more students, this becomes more difficult for students to receive their desired individual instruction time from the teacher, and it also becomes a lot of demand on the teacher. Therefore, I would like to know and gain teaching strategies to be able to transition students to become independent workers and problem solvers. The improvements that are made. When you focus in on one specific area of my action research question, you'll be able to target more effective resources, which creates a focus area such as improving student independence, which allows for more discussion and a conciseness in the topic. Students' individual problem-solving ability could potentially be touched on and mentioned, as independent problem-solving abilities would be able to link the student's independence within a classroom. Therefore, the new statement is, how can I improve student independence within the classroom? Definitions of central and relevant terms. Primary. This refers to classes in the primary division, which is junior kindergarten to grade 3. Junior refers to classes in the junior division, which is grades 4 to 6. Independent student learning is defined as, and it does not merely involve students working alone, and it stresses that the important role that teachers still can play in enabling and supporting independent learning. Independent learning also requires the students to take responsibility for their own learning, to become self-directed, and make decisions regarding the focus levels towards the learning, gaining, and the sense of how to manage one's own, as well as how to respond to difficulties or challenges within their learning. Individual work allows students to take the time to think things through on their own and gain independence, confidence, and the ability to work their way through a problem, even if they are not certain about every step. This allows students to work at their own level, practice self-control, and process problem-solving skills across a variety of subject areas and issues. Finally, problem solving is a process of finding solutions to difficult or complex issues. The problem solving has the ability to identify and solve problems by applying appropriate skills systematically. Have students work through the problems on their own in order to gain realization that there may be multiple solutions and in order to identify any areas of error during problem solving stages. Literature annotated bibliography. First, Carol Ames and Jennifer Archer looked into the success of specific motivational processes and the importance of relating them to the performance goals set within the actual classroom setting. Students from an academically advanced school were randomly selected to answer their perceptions of their classroom goals and how that aids and encourages their time spent learning effective strategies, task choices, and attitudes towards the classroom. It was found that students who deemed mastering goals within the classroom as important reported more success within the classroom and with their strategies that aid in stronger success following their effort. Therefore, it was found that classroom goals and familiarizing students with how to achieve the classroom goals result in successful understanding of effective strategies that are adopted by students. Emphasizing a goal to master within the classroom promotes students' positive behavior and belief in their ability to achieve. If teachers create a relation between mastery and performance goals within the classroom, the results will be significant. Next, many areas of the curriculum can be closely tied to learning skills and work habits in a way that assists teachers in making decisions for grades and overall assessments and evaluations. The teacher is expected to work with the students through guided instruction in order to develop the learning skills and work habits, and then students will have the ability to be effective independent learners. When the student achieves the ability to be an independent worker, they have the ability to assess, monitor, and revise their school work plans in order to meet the goals and complete the task in a timely manner following the instructions with minimal to no supervision. When the teachers change their assessments to focus on the goal of improving student learning and helping students to become independent learners, students and teachers must work together in an environment of collaboration. Teachers begin by being the lead leader and learner, and throughout time gradually release more responsibility to the student as they learn how to develop and the knowledge and skills to become a successful independent learner, which are skills that are required for lifelong learning. Next, Larkin's research discovered that if learners are challenged to know how to learn, assess information, and then apply what is learned towards complex real-world problems, all done in order to be successful learners. If teachers focus on their academic goals for students to become lifetime independent learners, then they will be able to continue learning with limited support, which attracts success and growth. If teachers are to implement scaffolded instruction, this method of instruction is said to optimize student learning to provide supportive environments that facilitate independence in students. Although scaffolded learning can only be used when appropriate, teachers need to know their classroom, the students, and as this strategy may not be able to be used for all curriculum subjects. Teachers need to guide students and continue to assist them with prompts that will guide students to think of learning questions from another light. In order to effectively scaffold, first the teacher models the task, the classroom, then works together to perform the task. Next, students work in partnered groups or pairs, and finally, students practice independently in order to achieve mastery. Next, the article by Mayer et al. This study brought together relevant research conducted through systematic reviews in order to provide synthesized details of independent learning and the possible impacts on students. Benefits were found that details such as improved motivation and better management of their own learning achievement. Although independent learning focuses on children themselves working on achieving independence, research did not take out the important role that teachers still have to play in supporting and empowering them to become successful independent learners. Research found that students need to be empowered through a variety of external and internal factors, where their environment is an important element that must feel enabling. Environments that include appropriate physical environments to generate work within, a flexible approach to time given to work on tasks, as well as a supply of appropriate resources. Mutual responsibility for students' learning was also a key factor that found and was discovered for both the teacher and student to consider in order to achieve success. The literature summary. Ames and Archer say that it was highly important for the teacher to create a strong importance directed towards the classroom goals and ways in which students can achieve those and obtain effective learning strategies. Similarly, Mercer et al. Focused on the important role that teachers still need to play in constructing a positive operational classroom environment in order to promote student learning achievements. After conducting the literature review, it was seen that researchers commonly found that there must be a positive understanding of the mutual responsibilities that both the teacher and student must conduct in order to succeed in growing student independence. Larkin also determined that teachers must provide supportive environments in order for students to be able to conduct their independence with relevant resources and assistance around them. Teachers still need to guide their students at the beginning of learning, but the acts of scaffolding and modeling new tasks, forming groups, and then slowly taking away members until students are solo will aid in students' academic skills and ability to challenge their learning. Finally, the Curriculum and Growing Success document brings all of these requirements and essential steps into reality when students are able to develop and achieve the learning skills and work habits throughout their school. Supports from the teacher and collaboration with students create an effective environment where students gain the ability to optimize their learning as reinforced by Larkin. My research action plan. What's next? The data sources. Quantitative data sources will be specific and have narrow questions that allow collection of quantifiable data from the participants. Statistics will be collected from close-ended questions, which will allow students to identify where they are best fit. This allows for personal student engagement, private scoring of where they feel they are on the topic regarding independence and problem solving. Potential data sources could be assessments with predetermined answers, surveys with predetermined answers, checklists, attendance records, web activity logs. Specifically, in my research action plan, we'll be using assessments and surveys with predetermined answers in regards to the specific topic being taught within the classroom. Individual student checklists will also be established where initial steps to be taken prior to asking the teacher for assistance should be exhausted. There may also potentially be a relationship between the areas we study, for example, attendance and students taking the responsibility towards their education and learning may connect together to prove success in student independence. Next will be qualitative research. The sources in a layout consisting of words, text, and responses take on the form of the qualitative data from participants. So when qualitative data is used as a second source of data research, it has the ability to be molded and framed in a way that can further explore potential highs in the numerical evidence from quantitative. The active involvement has the ability to push data reasoning to the next level in order to see and have recordings, anecdotal, audio, or video, of participants' attitudes, feelings, and behaviors in greater depth. Individual cases or focus on students whose independence and problem-solving skills are continually weak allows for a focus of greater attention and deeper understanding. Potential data sources could be questionnaires, surveys, interviews, observation, anecdotal notes, and discourse analysis. Specifically in my action research plan, we'll be focusing on questionnaires and surveys that prompt students with scenarios of potential student independence, interviews with regards to individual work achieved, and observational anecdotal notes based on student progress within the classroom. If circumstances permit, researchers could push it another step forward in their qualitative data source and look for differences, patterns, or consistencies of collected data and draw strategies in regards to potential larger context inquiry-based opportunities. The data sources and how I'm using it. So the quantitative data will be collected from student participants. The student's preferred style of learning will be assessed, and gradual release will occur in order to accurately measure growth of independence. Teachers from other grades may participate in order to develop and find their grade level comparisons of independence and problem-solving achievements. Teachers may also record the number of times students' hands go up in the classroom in order for teacher assistance. Qualitative data and how I'm going to use it. Observations will be made to collect data regarding students' abilities to independently problem solve within the classroom. Students will have the ability to assess, monitor, and revise their individual goal plan and be based on their individual self-achievements and completion of school tasks. And teachers will also have the ability to monitor and record observations of growth of student independence through anecdotal observational notes. Triangulation and validity and reliability. Throughout the action research, different data sources will be collected from a variety of students whose educational levels all differ. The various methods of receiving data allow for all students to be able to participate to the best of their ability. Therefore, I will only be looking to pull data that specifically focuses on students' growth regarding independence within the classroom and their ability to problem solve independently before asking for assistance. By focusing on those topic areas solely, validity and reliability will be achieved. Information that is collected that is irrelevant, has biases, or a weak connection to the topic will not be included. By including both quantitative and qualitative methods of research collection, this will allow the data to be collected to be more comprehensive and create a range of potential strategies based on students' varying academic capabilities. When triangulation is the core of the research collection, there is the ability to build credibility in results collected and discovered. By staggering the times of collection where qualitative data collection will follow the quantitative data collection, this allows extra confidence in the findings, results, and potential trends from the data sources, as well as the ability to show possible growth in the topics at hand. Doing so will allow for the clearest possible picture to be created from the curiosity of students' dependence on teacher assistance and resolution skills. Participants and setting. The focus group study will be junior intermediate grades, specifically 4 to 8 in the elementary schools. I would like to invite other teachers who might be interested in the area of research to participate in observing my research, as well as to collect their own based on their classroom dynamics. The data that I specifically collect will be in regards to my grade 4 placement class, which will be used to summarize my research study. Ethical considerations. In order to provide confidentiality and continuous validity within the response, parents will be informed of the data collected throughout the year, as a letter will be sent home that will outline the full confidentiality of their child's information. Students and parents can make the decision at any point they wish that their child's results or responses may not be used in the collection of data. Confidentiality, privacy, informed consent, and fair treatment of all the results will be ensured to participants and their guardians, as the data collection will only be reviewed and recorded by myself as their classroom teacher. After data has been collected and recorded, students' names will be removed from the data collection point information that has been entered. The school board's ethical procedures will also be followed, and approval will be obtained in order to ensure ethical conduction of the action research. The timeline chart goes over initial anecdotal notes, quantitative student documents, qualitative responses, and the final anecdotal notes and the time frame that it will be collected. Finally, as a closure, as a new teacher, I have a wide range of possible grades that it could be within my future teaching opportunities. As selection of a specific grade is not an option, I personally need to gain skills, strategies, classroom resources, and supports that foster independence in students. I believe that if a well-scaffolded and gradual release program is in place, then as students enter into larger classroom sizes, they will individually be able to support and direct their education and learning in a positive direction. when the teacher in the classroom is only one person with roughly 30 individuals to attend to. Therefore, the students gain a plethora of problem-solving skills and supports along the way with a growth mindset. Then they have the opportunity to grow and create a continuous academical environment that fosters growth and independence. Personally, those are all traits, skills, and qualities that I hope to be able to instill in my future students.